Welcome back to the Main Beam Podcast. This is episode 28.
Yep, 28.
And today is June 11th already.
Yep,
Time's flying by.
The studio's filled back up. We got a little bit of a revamp. We got some lights in here, so we're not sitting in the dark anymore for anyone that watches the video podcast.
Yeah, we got all the guys back in studio today, but unfortunately we had two guests we had a guest lined up that wasn't able to make it, and then we had another guest lined up, but he was not able to make it either. So
yeah, I was gonna say we had some stuff fall through, but people had some stuff going on, so we're gonna
gotta tend to the wife.
Yep. And then the other guy lives a little far away, but we're gonna make do with what we got. Jeff's back in here, so sorry I missed last episode, Jeff.
It's all good.
I'm glad I'm on this one. Spencer, Brady,
Landon,
and Adam.
and Adam.
I didn't know where we were going.
Spencer, Jeff, Brady, Landon, Adam. Here we go.
Here we
All
go.
right.
Yeah. No, Nick actually was here, so
Cough it up, man.
Yeah,
we should have had all 6 mics filled up, but Nick was here, and as soon as he pulled up, he was on call, so we had to go fix an air conditioner. So
yeah,
he had to roll out.
it did get pretty. I mean, it wasn't terribly hot today, I guess, but
It's gonna get hot.
yeah, no,
It's gonna get real hot.
Yeah, it's gonna get bad this weekend, right? It's supposed to be like upper 90s. Or...
Yeah, it's gonna
I'm
be,
not ready for that hot weather.
It's gonna be mid to upper 90s for the next 2 weeks. It looks like.
I'd rather it be 30 degrees outside than 90.
Watch, this shit's gonna happen again. It's gonna be mid to upper 90s for like the rest of the summer. No rain. EHD is just gonna steamroll in and kill everything.
Shit better not.
Why would you say something like that?
Dude, we've had such good moisture this year all the way up, which, like I said, just looking at the weather, it's only a 2-week period, but I hope the moisture keeps up.
I'm saying every time I mow my lawn, like every 4 days, I'm like, God, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
These deer are gonna grow.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, I ain't going to really put any cameras out until July.
No, and we got a lot, we kind of touched on it a couple episodes back. I mean, we got some lease stuff to figure out still. Our place is always up in the air with whether we're going to get it or not and some other stuff, but it hopefully that all works out and we can start throwing cameras up. I know me and Landon's buddy Spencer in Iowa sent us a picture of one hell of a deer when we were at Jeff's house eating dinner last night and shooting bows. Sent it to us, and it's going to be a freaking mega giant.
It's going to be a pretty damn big deer.
So we got some plans. We probably going to head up there in the next month and a half, 6 weeks, 7 weeks maybe, if we can get some stuff free and go see if we can't film a bunch of velvet bucks with him up there. So it should be fun time.
Yeah, it's all coming back. I mean, it's already June and need to start shooting bows and everything else. We shot a little bit last night. We're going to actually working classes shoot this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Like I said, I've listened to that so many years now, and I think it's going to be a damn good time. We got me going, Landon going, Spencer going, and Jeff's going with us. So we're going to go up and see if we can't lose a couple arrows.
We're going to see who loses the most arrows this weekend.
Love it. I'll be working, so enjoy.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to lose any arrows.
No. And I'll be in probably 62-degree OR weather, so won't be too bad.
That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, we're going to be sweating, it looks like, up in Galesburg. It's going to be pretty like 92 or something throughout the day, so it's going to be a hot shoot, but it should be fun.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. All them guys are fun, and it seems like every year I see on their Facebook page like how many people go, and they give away so much stuff. They give away bows, shoulder
They're giving away
mounts.
some seed, right?
Yeah, a bunch of food plot seed. So yeah, it should be a hell of a time, and they're, like I said, they're all good guys.
We can always use food plot seed.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get
usually multiple times a year because we don't get no rain.
And but the turkeys are well fed.
Yeah, the turkeys
peck
eat
every
a lot of
last little
doves.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
It's just terrible.
Have you seen any fawns yet?
Well, I did put out game cameras. I saw a fawn like with a doe in near I almost said the farm, right? Onyx this really quick, guys. Out past where I typically hunt. There was some Hey, oh, there we go. Jeff's just showing me a picture of a fawn off the side. He's saving lives. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I know.
We talked about that last week.
Oh, that's cool. But I saw one out in the field just with
Yeah.
with the doe. And I put out. Oh, I didn't put any cell cameras out, but I put about 6 or 7 different,
Yeah.
just regular cameras.
Hopefully get some poults on camera. I know a lot
Yeah.
of them areas you should have some poults running around here before
yeah.
long.
I hope we have a good hatch this year, but as much rain as we've gotten, I know it's probably flooded a few out because
I'm sure it
creek's
has.
been out a few places.
Yeah, but I think overall it should be.
Overall, we should because of the cicadas that we've had.
Dude, yeah. They kind of are dying down, though, quite a bit now.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I noticed this last about week has really been.
Well,
you've probably noticed cutting grass. They've
Yeah.
really died down.
I mean, toward the end of last week, I didn't have to deal with it as much.
Yeah.
But like a month ago, I'd have 10 of them on me while I was mowing, and I got tired of pulling them off. I just
You
let
just
them
keep,
hang out.
Yeah, some of them saying that too, that they're like attracted to like the vibration or the noise or something.
As soon as a weed eater or a blower starts up, it's game over.
Yeah,
It ain't as bad on the mower, but
Yeah, I think they come like, was it me, you, and Adam that talked about it that time, or remember we were talking? We were talking about when I picked Max up. Me and Landon picked Max up to go eat lunch one day, and he was out there with his concrete saw, and he literally turned the concrete saw on, and it was like at the peak of them. There'd be like 50 of them just zoom straight to him. It's like they come to they feel the vibration. I guess they think it's a mate or I don't know what they think, but they just come to outbuzz it, I guess. And I don't know. But
I have no clue either.
yeah, I
It
don't either.
should make the fishing a little easier now that there's not, a whole arsenal of food just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know because Macy was telling me the other day, Macy and Sam, she was asking me about how we were talking just about food plots and stuff, and she was telling me like how I thought it would affect like basically the food or the forage for wildlife or for deer and
Yeah.
stuff. And she said something about them like she heard from somewhere about like in the fall or something about how they do more like damage in the fall or something. And I was under the impression like I thought they were like going to be done.
Well, from what I understand is they'll like what they're doing now. They mate, and the females will like lay their eggs in like whether they like bite a little piece of the tree off or whatever they do. They lay their eggs like in the bark somehow. Well, when the eggs fall to the ground and like work their way in the ground, they live as like a larva and eat like the roots of like grass or whatever, wherever the hell they are. So I would assume it would affect possibly food plots because they eat like the ends
Yeah,
of the
but
roots.
say they're in the ground for 14 years or 7 years or whatever the different cicadas are. Like, are they eating down there for the all 7 years? Because in that case, it wouldn't really be any different than.
No, yeah, I guess not. But no, they literally stay as like a larva or whatever in the ground for like 13 or 17 years, whatever they are, before they come back out.
See, that's what, and I don't know a whole lot about them. And she was telling me too. She's like, well, they're so hard to, like, for them to really study because they only happen once every.
Yeah.
Well,
2 decades practically.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Well, like this year it hit where they were like what was it, like the 7-year cicada and
red eye.
No, the
13
13 and the 17.
I thought there were 7.
Was it 7?
7 and the 13.
Oh, 7 and 13.
Yeah,
I thought it was 17.
No.
Oh, 7. Okay.
They landed on like the same time this year. So it's like so hard to study because it only happens,
So long.
yeah, as Grandma would
And-
say, once in a blue moon.
I was told that once they peel their shell off, they only live for like a week.
Yeah, a week or two.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's like 3 weeks. Once
I
they
don't
come.
think it's that long.
Yeah, because I looked it up the other day when we were.
I think it's only 2 weeks.
And no, I guess, dude, I think they fucking piss a lot too. Like,
They do.
yeah, they said like that people were posting videos of trees that looked like it was raining. It
Yep.
was piss.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I would mow underneath trees and I'd be like, should have wore a shirt.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. You could see it like when
Yes.
when the light hits it, like, and it just, I mean, you
I guess-
mowed it, right? Yeah, you're getting pissed all over.
And the base of trees too. Like when they come out, they always stink the most.
Oh,
like they
that's-
stink
yeah.
already, but at the base of the trees are the worst.
I guess it's payback after them being in the ground for 13 years and
Yeah.
me pissing on them every
That's
time.
right.
They're like, God, that's him again.
Oh, that's funny. But no, on I guess some other news. I guess it's out now, or it's been out for a little bit, but I guess we haven't said it on the podcast. I drew Kansas this year.
I did not.
Landon did not.
I did
Again.
too, but just the game wardens don't know about it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's exciting. I guess we got some stuff in the works with Cole. Hopefully, get back out there with him and see if we can't knock a deer down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Landon's Kansas curse this year was not drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yeah, I need to just freaking try to get into the draw, but
I've been out there on 3 different tags, 5 different trips. Just nothing.
tragic.
Well,
As Brady
I can't
would
say nothing. It's been good
Oh,
trips
yeah.
every time, but it just not quite happening.
Yeah, you just every time you podcast, you look up and you see Brady's Kansas deer right there, and it's like one of these days.
Yeah. I'll probably go out and kill on like the first
Yeah,
tonight.
That's what he did the last time he was out
did.
there.
Yeah, I killed pretty quick.
Well, we had that one big deer in the Milo that I had to talk you into shooting. I was like, Brady, here comes a big deer, and he's like,
no.
no, dude, I don't know, and I'm like, are we looking at the same deer? That is a big deer. He's like, I don't think so. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like his biggest deer at this point was like 130 inches. And I'm like, this deer's like 160 inches. Like this is a big ass deer. And he's like, no, I don't. Are you sure? Are you sure? So I text Cole and I'm like, hey man, there's a deer out here. Like it's probably, I downgraded a little bit. I'm like, probably like maybe 140s. Like, what do you think? And he's like, oh man, like you got the green light on that farm. Like
Yeah,
shoot whatever
whatever.
you want. And I'm like, looking back at it, damn, that's a big braid. You probably ought to shoot that deer. Oh,
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to.
I don't think I'm going to. And I'm sitting there like, are you serious? Like right now? And then it comes a little closer or whatever. And finally we're videoing. And then he's like, okay, I think I'm going to, I'll try. I was like, all right. Thank God, you know? And then he tries to shoot. He tries to shoot it.
It comes all the way into 40 yards in
Yes.
the Milo.
And I'm laying on my belly because the Milo it kind of failed that year.
Yeah,
It wasn't
you said
very
it was
tall.
kinda short.
And I this deer's walking right to us. And I'm just like laying on my belly. Brady's kind of self-filming or moving the camera at this time and like gonna shoot. And anyway, he shoots and I like pop up like thinking, you know, he got him running. All I see is deer running, you know. And he ended up
I think I blew. Well, I was shooting across rows, and I was sitting on my butt shooting kind of up because, I mean, we were just. You would have to be there to understand like
I don't
how
think you
it
were
was.
really shooting up. I think you
No.
were shooting more down and you just shot through all the Milo heads.
Yeah,
You didn't have your gun barrel high enough.
yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
didn't have
Like,
your gun barrel up.
yeah, because it just caught us off guard because we were sitting on our asses or whatever. Like, had I been on my knees or just stood up real
Yeah,
quick,
you'd have been fine.
game over.
Yeah, but you
it
had to
was
breathe,
yeah.
right?
I was shooting through, like the rows are running this way, like imagine the rows running like that, and the deer's like over here. So I was shooting like through 2 rows like this. So
We don't know. Either that or something happened. But
I either tragically missed. I'm telling you right now, 40 yards. I'm probably not missing with a gun at 40 yards.
No.
Like I'm not saying I couldn't, but
yeah, but he wasn't even that upset because he's like, oh, I didn't know if I wanted to shoot it anyway. So we get back and we start showing Cole, and Cole's like, dude, that deer's a lot bigger than 140 inches. And I'm like, thank you.
yeah, Cole puts it on his computer and he goes, yeah, that deer's probably 165. Like you made a giant mistake. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I thought so. And then he goes like the next night and kills a 8.5-year-old 145-inch deer. That's
And then
was
last year when we were hunting with Landon out there, he was talking about because we drove by that same place that I missed that deer on, and they didn't have it planted.
No,
'Cause
they
it was
had
a hell of a like when it had Milo in it. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, it
like
was
perfect farm,
crazy. Like always had some big deer on it.
and it was just dirt. And we were talking to Cole about it, and he's like, "Nah, man." He's like, There's probably 30 deer eating in that dirt every night.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why. He's like, I seen a 160-inch deer in there the other night, and he's like, they're just in the dirt. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, the deer you missed last year is like, he's like, pretty sure it's like there right now eating. He's like, but.
Well, that's where we were. So that's where we were gonna go hunt because I was so like attached to that farm after we had hunted it because it was insane how many deer would like funnel out of this place, and so I asked him about it. I was like, well, what about that farm that year that we hunted over there? And he was like, yeah. He's like, well, you can just go sit there, but he's like, there's probably 30 some deer out there every night. It's just dirt though. He's like, I don't know what they're eating. It's literally just dirt. He goes, I mean, it would be.
Yeah, he said it would just be weird. He's like, I don't want to send you there because if you don't see a deer, he's like, I'm going to feel like.
Yeah, but he said there's deer out there every night. And so then I told Brady, I was like, hell with it. It was like one of our last nights.
Hey, at least, you won't hit any Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
well, that's
I told
true.
Brady, I was like, hell with it. Like, I'm like, imagine if we go and we kill a big deer just out in a dirt field. Like, that would be kind of cool. Or just like, at this point, it was like our last day. And I was like, let's just wing it. And then Cole was like, no, I'm going to send you over to this spot. He's like, you really should go to this spot. I was like, all right, whatever. That's when we went over there and we had that 200-incher and like muzzleloader. Muzzleloader didn't go off
You guys
anyway.
get another opportunity this year, so.
Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna.
Adam.
Well, not you, yeah, Freddie though.
Yeah, I don't know. We're hoping to get a different muzzleloader this year. I know Cole and them swear by them Remington 700s, but they're not out of price range. But I think we're gonna get one of them nitro fires. I was talking to Forrest a couple weeks ago about it, just like what his actual thoughts were and stuff on it, and he said he shot like 6 or 7 different brands of muzzleloaders, and he said it's by far the cleanest, easiest, and best muzzleloader he's ever shot. So.
Well, when we were looking at them the other day,
Yeah, I mean they're light.
they were pretty sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're pretty sick muzzleloaders.
What are they going for?
560.
580,
Yeah,
or
something like
600 bucks.
yeah,
That's it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Not
like I
bad.
said, they got the the powder, and the powder's in like a sealed, like a shotgun shell, pretty much. You still got to put the primer in the back of it, and you still got to load a round in
Bolt down
it.
the end.
But otherwise, like there's no worry as far as like moisture in your powder or like dust or whatever. He said they've shot it.
Something that I need.
Yep.
He said, which with the juries, they've shot it since it's come out. And he said every time they shoot it, he said run a one wet patch, one dry patch, and he said they're just super clean. He said they're nice guns. So I think we're gonna look into that. Just buy one between me and Landon because we don't really need 2 of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
no.
Most of the time, we never really split up. It's either he's filming me or I'm filming him. So
No, that'll be a fun hunt.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
should be.
looking forward to it.
From what I've seen already out there, the last 3 years we've been out there, the Milo has completely been tragic, like failed or burnt up. And this year so far, they've gotten the rain for it to be. We have yet to experience a really good year of.
Yeah, every year we've been there.
Milo. We have yet to experience a good crop out in Kansas.
Yeah, I say every year we battle with the weather and battle with the bad crop, and we keep saying, oh, one of these years we're gonna hit it right. I'm just waiting for the year where the crop's good. And
it won't be the year that Landon has a tag, so this year will probably be it.
Yeah, Brady, you're in luck.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. Next year it'll be back to dog shit, dried up, burnt.
No, don't
crop.
say that.
Huh?
Don't say that.
Well, if I get a tag, then maybe it'll be better.
Yeah,
Probably
mine.
not though.
Well, the unit I want you guys to hunt gets a lot more rain. Is a unit that even Cole has talked to us about, and it's like, yeah, it's farther east. It gets more rain than his area. And it's usually
Where we
better.
turkey hunted.
Yeah. A lot better crop. You see more beans and corn out there, so deer do have a little bit.
It's pretty solid stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty more solid than just grass and shit. But yeah, so it'll be interesting next year to see kind of how that goes.
Yeah, hopefully. I asked him the other day because when me and Max were out there in turkey season, we went out there and Max happened to kill a turkey on Saturday, and we left town. And I get home, and hell, it was probably 1 or 2 in the morning when me and Max got home, and I just stayed at his house. And I wake up to my phone just going off constantly. And I'm like looking. Well, my phone still had the location that I was in, this part of Kansas, and they had a tornado blow through town that night. Oh. So I told Max, I was like, dude, it's a good thing you killed your bird yesterday, because like tornado come right through town last night.
Yeah, they all flew away.
They all would have went to the next county over.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. So I had asked Cole about it, and he acted like, well, he hadn't checked anything out. He said it possibly hit one of his farms, but I think for the most part, everything was pretty good out that way. But yeah, we got lucky that, and we didn't. I mean, I didn't look at the weather or nothing. The day before, actually, it kind of dawned on me because when me and Max were out there, it was 92 degrees that day, hottest day that I've ever turkey hunted. And I literally walked out of the woods basically in my underwear when Max killed his bird. Like, he has a video of me walking out of the woods. I have no shirt on. My pants are pulled up as high as I could get them. And
That's a hot day of hunting turkey.
Yeah, it was.
Somebody drives by. Look at these gays out in the
field. Dude, I told Max, I was like, I know one thing for sure. I'm never hunting again whenever it's 92 degrees outside for turkey. And I mean, just kidding. I'll do it again anytime that it.
I'll tell you one thing. I'd rather hunt turkeys
fun.
in 30 degrees than I would in 90.
Oh, it was terrible. But anyway, Max was like looking at, and I don't know. We just were looking at the temperature, not really the weather. And he goes, "Damn, tomorrow's going to be like 60." And I was like, "Damn, that's a really big difference," you know.
I wonder why that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
tornado.
All that hot air and cold air. Yeah. Had a twister that night. So. Yeah.
Oh man.
We've seen some pretty bad weather when we've been out there, and.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, last year I was taking the lightning pictures of you, and then the year before that's when Chandler was taking all the weather pictures of Cole when there was lightning over by their old cabin. But yeah, it seems like which you can see so far out there. So I mean, it's inevitable. Like, you can see storms coming from, like, you can see the cells coming from like different directions, and you can watch them pass by, watch it rain, half a mile from you and different stuff. But yeah, we've been caught up in some rough shit out there. I know the year I killed this deer, well, we all but freaking sprinted out of the field that one night. It was the night after the night before I missed that deer, because we went and sat in the field, and remember the deer with all the freaking Osama bin Laden buck was in the field with all the shit in his antlers, and he come out.
Oh yeah.
And then it just started down, like it was like it got dark, started lightning and like everything. We're sitting in the middle of a failed Milo field, like look like lightning rods sitting in the middle of the field. I'm like, yeah, it's time to go.
Stick your gun up.
Yeah, like, it's time to go.
Yeah. Braid, hold that muzzleloader in there. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. Kansas, you can see pretty damn far. I remember back in 19, I was coming back from Colorado, driving through Kansas, and I was on I-70, and I had a tornado that was south of me, a tornado that was north of me, and then I finally made it through Kansas, and I had great gas mileage because the wind was just pushing me the whole way. I was like a sailboat out there. But when I got home, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning because, I mean, we just went as fast as you want to go, and fucking 90-mile-per-hour winds.
In a red Sonoma.
Yeah, in a red Sonoma.
You drove your truck out there?
Oh yeah, I probably weighed more than that truck. And
oh my god!
I was white knuckling it by the time I got home. I get home and I passed my parents' house was closer, so I was like, I'm just gonna get there.
You're probably the only thing that kept that truck grounded.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, I thought we were gonna take off. I was like, I want a gas mileage to be good, but not this good. But that's the same night. It was May 25th or 23rd or whatever. But I made it through all those tornadoes safe. And I get to Jeff City, and we have a tornado. Yeah. Well, I remember my folks woke me up, and they're like, "Hey, we got to go downstairs." I'm like, "Why?" I'm so tired still, and they pull me out, and I look out the front door, and it's like purple, and so I'm like, "It'll be all right." Then I wake up the next morning like, "No, we got hit," and I was like, "Really?" Huh, what are the odds of that?
Yeah, you might want to stay away from Kansas.
Yeah, I know.
Every time that we've been out there, typically it's not like necessarily hunting and we get caught in a storm. It's more of driving. The first time we ever went to Kansas, we went turkey hunting, and we were all pumped up. Yeah, we're going turkey hunting in the morning. It's like 80 degrees here. We're driving halfway across Kansas. We had a blizzard.
Yeah, it just starts snowing.
Snowing everywhere.
Coming off the Rockies.
And we're like,
you know how it is when you're driving in snow on the highway at night? It looks like you're in like the damn Star Wars. Like it's all coming at your face, and you're like,
Well, it was more in the eastern. It was basically in the eastern side.
Yeah, it was just past Topeka is where we were at. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and
eastern
it was
Kansas.
snowing like hell, and I was like, "What the?" It was pretty cold turkey hunting. I didn't pack near enough clothes as usual.
Yeah,
But then the next time we went to Kansas, no, we didn't hit any weather the next time we went, whenever me and you went and I had a bow tag. But whenever we went with Max, remember it stormed so hard it blew that semi over in front of us and we had to pull off the side of the road. And
yes, it was terrible. We were sitting under the overpass and whatever, sitting there, semis blows over in front of us and we're like, oh, hell.
Yeah, there was all kinds of cars, or not cars blown over, but big trucks blown over.
It let up a little bit and
the wind was
right around
the
everybody.
Wind, we were having reports of, well, we were looking at the weather because we had just planted our food plots here at home.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, perfect. Home's going to get, rain or whatever. And we're not, obviously, we're all pumped up. Every time this never fails, we're all pumped up like, yeah, we're headed to Kansas. We never even look at the weather that we're driving through, We all of a sudden, hit, I think it was around Topeka, too. We hit around Topeka, and it was 90-mile-an-hour winds recorded and stuff. And it was raining so hard that we couldn't drive. We pulled over.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
And we were sitting on the side of the road, and Brady's truck's just shaking, and I'm like, damn, we better look for a culvert pipe somewhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was bad. Brady's truck's rocking, and semi blew over in front of us, and then we got out to Kansas, and that's the year that you killed that deer, and they hadn't had rain, and Cole said they'd had 3/100 of an inch of rain since May, and this was in September. And we get out there, and it's super hot. I pack the lightest clothes I have, and then one day it got all the way down to 45 degrees.
It was cold.
45 degrees, and it rained 3 inches in a matter of half a day. And me and Brady are sitting out in it. Got a trash bag around half myself, trying to stay warm because didn't bring nothing.
Yeah, I packed 3 trash bags because I was like, okay, if it really starts downpouring, I'm putting 2 over the cameras. And then we had an extra one. And we had trash bag laid over, trying to keep shit dry, and it was
terrible. Finally, I told Brady, I was like, let's get out of here. This ain't even worth it. And we got out of there or whatever, only to find out that the road was so muddy that we couldn't still leave. The truck was sitting here, and it would just slide off into the ditch. And I told Brady, I was like, gas this thing. I don't know what to do. And so we got to pick Max up, and then we went to drive this road out, and we must have took a wrong turn, but there's no road signs out there.
Sure.
And so anyway, we get stuck, literally stuck in the ditch. And Brady's like, it just bought the truck. It's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, I'm soaking wet, and I know I'm not really wanting to sleep here tonight, so gas this thing. And he's gassing it, and we slide over farther. And we were in the ditch so bad that I couldn't even open my door on the passenger side.
Yeah.
It would hit the bank on the other side. It would hit the bank.
It was
Wait, how'd y'all get out?
I literally just held the
gas down.
The gas down.
Spun out.
I bet you I burned through 3/4 of a tank of fuel in 2 miles.
We drive up
I was just
we go up this big hill, okay? We should have just turned around first, but we go to a mile or so down this road. And it comes up to this big hill, and on the other side it drops down this canyon, real steep, muddy, through this big rocky canyon. And Brady's like, I'm not going down that. And me and Max are like, all right, we'll get out of the truck and assess the damage. Me and him are slipping down the road and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way we can go down this. So we drove the ditch for a mile for no reason, turned around, and then drove the ditch back out another mile.
It was fucking stupid.
We were supposed to go get dinner or something.
Brady's like, yeah, if you're hungry, I got some half-cooked brats.
Yeah, Cole,
we didn't have nothing.
Cole, Chandler, and Sean are all at Cole's cabin cooking elk steaks or whatever, and they're like, dude, we got elk steaks for you guys or whatever. If you want to eat, and
I have
this
to call
big dinner
Cole.
cooked. Yeah, and Landon has to call Cole
And I'm
tell
like,
him
dude, we're stuck in a ditch somewhere. I don't know what to do. And of course, no one's coming to pull us out. They'll be stuck too. There's nothing really you could do. It was just muddy. And he's like, well, where are you at about? And I'm telling him, he's like, oh man, I should have told you about that. He's like, you're on the muddy 2 mile. I'm like, I don't know what you want to call it.
yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's
That
like,
has a name.
yeah. He's like, you're on the muddy 2 mile. You need to go back here. And I was like, yeah, that would have been nice to know. So we ended up getting out of there. And Brady's truck was so bad. We had so much.
I wish I had the video of it. You ain't never seen mud on a truck like this
life.
shit in your life.
I bet there was 4 inches of mud across the windshield.
Yeah.
Like
I ran out of washer fluid trying to get the shit off my windows.
dude, it was so bad.
I had my roll up bed cover was all bowed. I had so much mud on my truck, dude. The podcast is brought to you by HLRBO. As hunters, we are always looking for new places to find mature bucks. You can find leases all across the U.S. and Canada. The best part is it's 100% free to sign up. Get started and find your next property today. You could I still wish I had the video of it because it was fucking unbelievable. Like we would look like just mud driving down the road.
Like it was terrible.
It was.
You just blend
terrible.
right in.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Terrible. We didn't get home that night for like, I don't know.
I had so
Midnight,
much. I had so much, and it was like sticky. It was like paste. I had so much mud
Like
caked.
clay.
Yes, in my wheel wells that it was, like, but where my fucking the next day, once we got back out, it was starting to dry a little bit, and I bet you I had like half an inch between my tire and the mud, like all the way around everything.
When we left,
it was awful.
When we left Kansas, we found a car wash, and Sean's truck was pretty muddy too. It wasn't like Brady's, but it was pretty nasty muddy too. And so I think we hit the same car wash because it was like out of all these bays, this one bay that Brady pulls in has like already like 6 inches of mud across the bottom. And I'm like posting it on my story, like all the mud and stuff on it, you know? And Sean's like, yeah, dude, I just had to wash my truck off too. He's like, I left a hell of a mess in there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're in the same bay you were just in. And then by the time Brady washed all his shit off, like,
oh my God, it was so bad.
you would have liked to take a skid loader in there and scoop the mud out of it. Like, I don't even exactly know.
I had the video a long time ago.
I
Saved
still
on my-
have it if I could look back through.
Yeah,
find
it was fucking bad. Like you couldn't roll down none of my windows. Like it was
like it was terrible.
miserable.
I think we tried to roll down the window and it was like peeling the tent off of
Well,
it.
it ain't got no tent on it. My fishbowl,
Fishbowl.
but
Oh, yeah,
it
you're
was
right.
it messed up the seal where the window is. So
Oh.
my passenger truck door will fill up with water now. I had to take the plug out of the bottom of
Pulls
the door.
plug out of the bottom and it
Yeah,
drains
because
out.
like if it rain, like how it's been raining here so much, I pull the plug out of the bottom of my door and I just leave it out because if I leave it in, my whole door will have like this much water in it.
It's just sloshing around.
Yes, I'm driving, you just hear.
Yeah,
Put your pet goldfish in there.
Yeah, dude.
because
it's
that
so
stuff got
bad.
so hard when it dried the
Right.
next day that
Yeah, it
Damn.
almost.
with like the sand and the clay. I mean, it was
Yeah, it ruined my shit.
yeah.
It was so bad.
Man, at least
But-
it wasn't the Sonoma.
No kidding. But on I guess a different note, what kind of a lot of podcasts have been talking about, I wanted to hit on a little bit is Iowa's. We were kind of talking a little bit like pre-recording about it, but Iowa's like introduced I'm pretty sure
No
it's
cell cameras, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's passed. I'll have to do like more research on it, but it as of right now, I think it's just public, has no cell cams. You can't leave blinds overnight, and there was a couple other things. I'll have to look at the bill, but that we were talking about it in the group chat too a little bit. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting on Iowa Public with no cell cams anymore. I can see it from a couple angles of helping and also hurting.
Well, I can see it for angles as we were talking earlier that, like, being on public, you know how many people that aren't trustworthy or that will steal the camera, and then you got all these people complaining about someone stole their camera and this and that. Like, that's why you were saying earlier that
Right.
they obviously made it illegal.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like deer wise goes, obviously Iowa Public, there's big deer killed on it every year, yes, but it's no different than public here. Like it still gets hammered. You know, there's a lot of people that hunt it, but I don't know. Imagine like, so say like us, just like our private, we go put our cell cams on. Even just a normal camera. You can't even run normal cameras on. Like no trail cameras at all on Iowa Public. Because you can't leave them overnight.
Yeah, but
or
it's the
something.
same thing here in Missouri.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like, how like last year, imagine like in Iowa, if you went and put cell cams out on the public and was like, oh, I see this deer, this deer, this deer, they're all 140, and then you're like, oh, but there's a 200 incher. Well, you're probably not going to shoot all the 140 inch deer if you know you're hunting a 200 inch deer.
Well, I agree.
But and you may only have a couple pictures of it. Well, imagine now this year, Joe Blow goes in there and is like, well, no, I can't have no cameras, can't have no cell cameras, but here comes a 140 inch deer. I doubt there's anything bigger on here, and just shoots it. So how many more people are you going to get that are just going to shoot the first 140 or 50 inch deer that walk by compared to holding out for the 180 or 200 inch deer that they may have a picture of?
Yeah, I agree. I could see it from that point.
Because Warren was talking about it on their race hunting, and he said that he thinks it's going to help it. He thinks it's going to help it that people won't shoot them and are going to hold out, but I don't know. I mean, he said
hold out, like hoping there's something bigger.
Yeah, and he said he thinks that if his theory's right, he said in 2 years he's just going to almost strictly hunt public because it's going to be so good. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, that theory's true if it works.
Yeah,
but I think I'm kind of leaning toward what you were saying.
Yeah,
if people don't have the pictures of them, then they're probably not going to waste a chance on a nice buck.
Yeah, but or even the sighting of it. I mean, they would have to go in there physically see a booner or see a 200 incher and be like, okay, that's the deer I'm going to hold out and wait for. But I feel like as many people that hunt public and as much pressure some of it gets, I feel like you're going to have a lot of people that are like, well, I'm just going to shoot the first, nice buck that comes by, and not hold out for the deer that they're like, okay, that's like a real, like.
I mean, I've known people around here, and I'm sure people kind of all over, that some people are more of like, oh, I'm not going to run cameras this year. I don't like running cameras because I like just going in there and being surprised or whatever. But to me, like you said, if I don't know any of the deer that's there and a 140 inch deer comes by that I think's mature, damn right I'm shooting it.
Right.
But like say on our farm last year, we run the cameras. We know what deer are in there. I mean, you target your most mature deer, or obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
deer in there,
and I don't know. I feel like the guys that are up there that are killing like big mature bucks on public every year are probably going to still continue to keep killing big mature bucks on public just because they're good at it. But yeah, as far as like, I don't know, just my opinion on it. I mean, it'd be like, I just know us around here as much as, not even cell cams. Me and you didn't even run a cell cam last year.
No,
maybe
I was just
one.
about to say that. I mean,
we just need the inventory to say, okay, this deer, and this deer's in here. But sure, we do get surprised with deer that show up, every year. But to me, I'd rather know, okay, like I'm passing that, it may even be a 4 or 5 year old that we're like, okay, he needs
okay,
one more
but
year.
Think of this: how we ran cell cams for 3 years. This past year we didn't. But how many deer in those 3 years could you say that? Oh, that cell cam helped us kill? None.
No, I mean, I'd say other than like whenever we had it on the crop up there late season where you could sit at work and say, okay, we got a picture of him Monday, Tuesday, let's go up there Wednesday, and we kill him Wednesday. Like
yeah, did that happen?
Maddie's deer.
Oh, yeah, okay. I agree on that one. But other
the
than
deer you killed with your muzzleloader right back there.
We didn't have cell cams at that time. The only thing we did was we went up there and you killed your deer.
And then we pulled the card.
And he was in there, and we said next cold front we go up there, we could probably kill him, and we did.
Right. Which, I mean, we drive, yeah.
The only deer that we've successfully killed on a cell cam would be Maddie's deer.
Yeah. Well,
even both the deer that we killed last year, I mean, we didn't use no cell cams.
Yeah, I guess cell cams never really helped.
I've only had one deer that a cell camera helped me, and it was actually somebody else's cell camera, and he sent me the text like 60 seconds it came out. He goes, "You hunting out here by chance?" I'm like, "I sure am." He sends me a text. So like 145 inch 10-point that walks in like 100 yards from me, and I don't know if I would have known that he was going to be there if it was with a cell camera or not. But all I know is I was much more prepared for him to step out in about 2 minutes than if I hadn't known that text was coming my way.
Which, I mean, our farm is different as well, but I know whenever we ran our cell cams, there was times where we'd be hunting and the cell cam would go off and you would always check it, and one of our shooters would be at a different stand location. Right. But there's no way in hell that we could have climbed out of the stand and walked over there and killed him. No. Like, we just...
I mean, that's around here. That's around here. Like, I was talking to Alan about it the other day. Take Alan's farm, because I think this bill, that if it's passed already, says that you can't physically check your camera, get out of your stand, and go shoot the deer on private even. Like, it limits.
I feel like okay, in some situations you might be able to do that, but I feel like that's still not going to put a big dent in.
I don't think there's that many people doing that.
Well, I don't think that many people are going to successfully be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely probably.
I mean, it's not like
Alan's farm. You could do it.
It's not like a turkey that you get a.
Oh no, I mean you could. You could set a cell cam in the bottom, and he could be on his ridge and be like, oh, boom, walk over the hill.
Yeah, but we're talking in Iowa, you can't use a rifle though. I mean, in
straight wall.
I guess we're in muzzleloader season, but good luck getting across that bottom 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I know, but still.
What are you going to fucking aim over the moon and hope it lands on his head?
Well, no, but I mean, it would have to be like your cell cam would have to be positioned in the right place for it to work, I guess.
Yeah, the stars would have to align perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, here would be different if we got a picture. If you were in one spot and you got a picture of a deer with a rifle, you may be able to sneak out and know, like, oh, he's in this crop field and, like, kill him. But how many times has that happened? Or,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I agree.
I would say they'd be better off to say you could only have your pictures every 24 hours instead of instantly.
Why wouldn't you just get rid of a cell camera if it's 24 hours?
I don't know.
No, I still think
I'm just fucking rattling shit off.
I still think that I don't foresee that big of a difference. Now, like turkeys, obviously, you get a picture of a turkey in a field strutting somewhere and they're standing out there spinning circles for a while. You're able, that turkey's in that field. I'm going to reap over this hill or I'm going to put a stalk on it. Like, it might be a little different for turkeys, but I mean, deer move so constantly and around. By the time you ever climbed out of a stand and made a stalk somewhere.
Oh, I'm as far as the 24-hour thing go, I'm not saying about like getting out of your stand and whatever, making a stalk on it, but like as far as
my thing is with the cell cams and why I like them, it was because how many trespassers have we caught because of the cell cam?
A lot.
If you don't have much trespassing, that it's probably like question people are like, damn, now they got cell cams because you know what? If you walk by that camera, it's done sent to my phone. I already got a picture. I already got a picture of you. The problem is if you do away with cell cams, okay, good luck. If someone were to go walk across one of our farms, well, I wouldn't know it until I go pull the camera a month later. Whip-de-doo, they might be in a different state by now. Like, I have no clue.
Yeah, and if they're not locked, like if it's not a cell camera and they're not locked and they see it, they could easily steal it or pop the card out.
Yeah, I mean, you had that card stolen. Or
out of a cell cam.
Yeah, you had the card stolen out of a cell cam.
By an Amish.
By an Amish dude. But the reason that we knew about it is because the cell cam obviously sent a picture before he took the card out. But it didn't get no more pictures after the card was gone, obviously. But we already had the picture of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I would say they undoubtedly help as far as like your most recent information and where you go hunt, though.
Well, I like the on-demand feature.
Like we would probably all be lying if we haven't said we've been somewhere before and you got a picture of him that like whenever me and you hunted curls and we got a picture of him like, well, he was in here, whatever. He was in here yesterday. He was in here today. Oh, we're going to hunt here tomorrow.
Yeah. Did you kill him?
No, but
okay.
I mean, it still helps on where you're going to sit.
No, I agree. I'm not saying that I disagree at all. I just think that
I would say even Mark Jury has said it a million times on Working Class Bow Hunter. The amount of times he looks at a cell cam, like when all his pictures come in twice a day, they come in the morning and the evening, and he looks at it and he can sit there and say, okay, whatever, if they have 5 crews going out, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here, and look how many fucking deer they kill with them.
No, I'm not saying I disagree, but I just don't know that it's I don't know if there's enough there that we could say, well, let's make it illegal. Like, Why,
No, I'm not saying make them illegal. I'm just saying they definitely help you kill deer. Like,
you're not putting scent in your area.
Yeah, you're not putting scent in your area for one. You're not in there putting pressure on the deer, checking your camera all the time.
I agree, but there's also people that think that the deer can almost sense the cell.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and how many times have we had a cell cam up and then had just a regular traditional camera up and them avoid the cell cam completely, but you get pictures of them on the other camera constantly.
Every time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, like, they undoubtedly help. Maybe not us. I mean, we don't even run the fuckers, so not us, because I mean, we know what we're doing with other cameras. But I'm saying they undoubtedly help fucking people kill deer.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that I disagree with that.
No, I know. I mean, imagine a state where you could bait and you put a cell camera over your bait pile, and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna sit in my box blind." Okay, well, cell camera goes off. Oh, there's a deer at the corn pile, and turn around and fucking shoot it. I mean, they help people kill deer.
Your turn.
I mean, I'm not saying they need to be illegal. I'm just saying they do help people kill deer.
Yeah, but why? You just said if you're in your stand and you got a bait pile out and you get a picture of a cell cam and you turn around and shoot it. Like, I don't think that cell cams are helping a whole lot while you're hunting. Like, if you're within a decent range, like, I don't check my cell cam and be like, oh, the deer's 15 yards. I better start looking.
You know,
like, no, but I'm saying, like, Ohio, it happens a shit ton in Ohio. Like, Ohio's a bait state. There's a lot of people that literally just sit like 200 yards from their bait pile, wait for their cell cam to go off and be like, oh, there's deer here. And they fucking shoot.
With a rifle?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it with a rifle, I guess.
I don't know.
But it wouldn't be no different than if you didn't have a cell cam and you just put corn out and you just looked up every now and then and be like, oh, there's one 200 yards. I'm going to get my rifle.
Right. I don't know.
I mean, unless you're sitting on your couch at home and you get a picture and go, damn, they're at the bait pile. I'm going to drive my truck all the way down there and shoot it out of the window, which at that point you're illegal anyway.
I don't know. I mean, I know for us, obviously, like I said, we may run a couple of them. Well, hell, you don't even run a whole lot of them anymore. You know, I mean, you still have them all, but you know, we don't rely on them as much as some people.
No, the biggest thing I like about them is, like you said, the trespassing thing. And that one year we were up there and we were on one side of the farm and we got a picture of someone else on the other side. And what'd we do? We hauled ass as fast as we could around the farm and cut them off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're definitely good for security.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it.
Well, like I said, you know the on-demand thing, don't you?
No, because I didn't run them all last year.
Oh, well, there's an on-demand where
you can
make
it take a
picture. Like if I'm walking into my food plot.
Oh, you can make it.
You can make it take a picture, and if there's a deer in there, then you know, fuck, I'm gonna be quiet, or let's blow right in there. There's nothing in there.
Better not bring the corn nuts this time.
Yeah. Tell your dad to leave the corn nuts at home.
Oh, no, terrible.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to them. I just don't know if there's enough to say. Well, you were saying that Iowa's thinking about banning the cell cams altogether.
No, I don't. I'm not saying they're thinking about it. I
thought you said that earlier.
Different people that I've heard said that they think it's going to come across here in the next several years. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it might not. I don't know.
So then they're going to be using low-down game viewers.
They might be. Non-cellular.
That's what I rather use.
I mean, if you used them like we used them, I don't think it's an issue. Like, I don't think we don't rely on them to necessarily kill deer because we run our stale cameras and we just know kind of what the hell we're doing. But I mean,
I think a lot of it comes down to, yes, it could help you in a way. I mean, obviously our farm is quite a ways from the house, or we have property away from the house. So instead of driving 6 hours or however far you want to drive to your farm, you can sit there and say, okay, you can view your pictures.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But I mean, I'm not saying I'm against them.
At the same time, I know how many deer that we've seen that show up on the camera, but it's not like we're going to blow in there and hunt anyway until the weather's right. So, like, at the same time, most of the deer that we're killing is because we're like, okay, this is a good spot, this is a good spot. Which one's better for the weather? And you go hunt it.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm against them. I'm just saying they're like, it just is how people use them. I think we use them correctly. I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah, but how are they not using them correctly?
I think they're, well, I don't know. I think they're killing a lot more deer with them than what they used to, which I guess is fine. But I mean, I don't know. I think people are relying on them a lot more than what we rely on them.
I agree. I get your point. I'm just wondering, like, how so? How do you think that they're killing more deer on them?
They're watching them pop up on their cell cam and going to hunt there.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's more of like what Spencer was saying on how like as soon as they or even when you
like,
were
I'm not
getting out of the stand and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think people are using them. What he's trying to say, like unethically, like, oh, I got a picture, I'm getting down, or I'm going right over there to kill that deer.
Yeah, or I mean, even as far as like if they were walking, like say you're going to hunt, and you're like, oh, bing, got a picture of my deer over here, and you go hunt fucking somewhere else. I mean, it's still, you're not blowing the deer out, which is good, but I'm just saying it definitely, like with the most recent information it gives you, it definitely helps you kill more deer.
I agree. I'm not.
I have an
disagreeing with
example
that.
last year with Addie's deer. I mean, he was popping up in the lower field. You never know when he's going to pop up there, and he'd pop up in the upper field.
Yeah.
And he'd come at the same time. He just would choose which field he wanted to, and then finally he got, like a few days before season, he got a little bit consistent. I wanted to stay out of there, and he got consistent where he started going in the upper field for 3 days, and I was like, okay, we're going to go this day, and he's going to show up, and he did.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
No,
it may have been helpful. I don't know.
No, I agree, and I'm not saying it's not helpful. I just don't know if it's like if it really helps that much. Like in your case, it did help, but at the same time, say me and Brady last year, we didn't use them, and we also killed 2 mature deer.
Yeah.
So like side by side comparison, is it like, not saying like, oh, you run cell cam. I mean, Spencer's ran cell covers for 3 years and ain't killed a deer.
Oh, fuck.
I was trying not to laugh.
I mean, not trying to be mean.
That's a valid argument right there.
I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I know. I'm just saying they fucking help people kill deer though. Like imagine how many times in an evening, like if we're sitting in the camper in Kirksville and we go, I'll cut that out, but imagine we're sitting imagine we're sitting in the camper up north and we go, oh, Big Nasty's blowing by the middle food plot tonight. And then we look at it right when we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're going to walk to the stand at 6, and we say, "Oh God, at 5:30, Helly just came through the first food plot. We better not go hunt over here because we don't want to blow him out." Like it's playing into our strategy of killing him somehow.
Yeah, I agree in that sense. I'm not necessarily saying
That's what I'm saying.
All right, yeah, no, I see that helping to where it's like, okay, because I have woke up, checked it before I go hunting, and like the deer's already pushed back through.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, he already went back to bed. There's really no reason for me to push in there when he's still walking around.
Yes.
And
that is exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's coming from us, but that's also coming. That's what Mark Jury says. The most recent information is what's like.
Yeah.
It's not the people looking at their phone and going, "Oh fuck, I'm getting out of my stand. I'm gonna go shoot the deer." It's the most recent information of saying.
I'm not trying to say that someone hasn't done that. I mean, I'm sure there's people tried that, and I'm sure someone was successful, but it doesn't.
No, I'm just saying it's the most. Yes, it's the most recent information where someone can say, like, whether it's him, us, or anyone. Oh, my deer went back to bed.
Yeah.
I better go hunt there. Like, I better get in at noon because there's probably a good chance he's going to stand up and be here tonight. Or say you have 4 cell cams lined along one food plot, and you're like, oh, he walked by this one, and then he gets to the third one, and he's kind of cutting up the hill, and he don't walk by your fourth one. You're like, okay, well, he's heading up the hill here.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the information that you can get off of it immediately.
I know it definitely helps. There's just so many factors in a whitetail deer. But when I was saying like turkeys earlier, I could see turkeys really. Like,
you could fuck turkeys up.
Yeah, I could see it really hurting turkeys or like improving turkeys, because how many times where like say a bird's not gobbling or you're making a call, you're not hearing nothing, and you get pictures from your cell cams and one's strutting in the field, but you never heard him all morning. Well, he's up there. You can either sneak up there or, with reaping, you reap up there. Like there's so many things that I feel like for turkeys, it really. I think turkeys would help. Or cell cams really put a big factor on turkeys over deer.
I think, compared to deer to turkey, it's probably more useful for turkey because, they're going to be hanging around just go in
Right.
circles for a couple hours.
Yeah,
get up
and the
there.
thing is with deer, I mean, I don't know how many times too we got pictures of deer and we suspect they do something, but you just never know. Them things literally move, change so many directions, like you just never know. And like for early season, I feel like it's helpful. They're on like a food to bed pattern or whatever, same as late season. But in the rut with cell cams,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what
I mean,
I
bro,
literally just had that
Yes.
thought. Like they'd almost be unreliable during.
Yeah, no, I agree.
it's kind of
way
with
too
it's kind of with any camera in the rut. I mean, unless obviously I've gotten pictures and been at work and been like, damn, that big deer's cruising at noon. But I can't say that, especially during the rut when they're doing everything that's unpredictable. Like even getting a picture of them cruising by at noon, like yeah, you could go
there's
sit
not
there.
shit you
could
could've
go
done
sit
about
there,
it.
but he could be, he could be cruising completely. Like they're just so unpredictable that I don't think it really plays that big.
I did listen to a guy yesterday though that said he had a cell cam picture of a deer at like 150 yards from him. He was bow hunting. He's like, huh, tink tink tink, rattled, and here the sumbitch come. And he's
Really?
like, yeah, I mean, which don't get me wrong, it may have been a 1 in a million chance.
Well,
but-
that's what I'm saying. Like I know it definitely has helped some people out there, but it's not necessarily played that big of a factor to everyone.
Right.
Like in a way, I guess, but that's just talking about whitetails. Like I know how many people. Well, Connor was telling us that they were mountain lion hunting and they put a cell cam over a fresh like bait, like a fresh kill,
Yeah.
and. They were somewhere else and got a picture of the mountain lion on that bait pile or whatever, and ended up going like setting like, I don't know, say 200 yards from it and calling the mountain lion in or something. Like I could see that being,
Yeah.
helpful or different things. Or I think trail cameras are completely illegal anyway out west, aren't they, for like elk and stuff?
Yeah. A lot of them states, Utah, I think, is one. You can't have them at all because it puts, out there I can see it. It puts so much pressure. They were having like 20 cameras over a water hole.
Yeah.
And, elk and shit couldn't even come get water because there was someone in there all the time checking their camera.
Yeah, but so did they make it illegal on private as well, or is that only public?
In Utah,
Yeah.
I think it's outright. I think it's everywhere across the board. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Someone would have to check, but
And I could see that because, say like a herd of elk, they're more congregated than, whitetails, and everyone is on the same group,
yeah. I don't know. It gets back to the public. I don't know whether I'd have.
Well,
I don't know whether I'd want them on public or not want them on public.
I could see, and some of it's not for the fact that like, we don't want you getting pictures on public, but some of the fact is just the conflicts that it makes these days.
Yeah.
If no one would touch other people's cameras and stuff, probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But you know how, the world we live in today, you know how many calls the conservation gets, like we were saying earlier, someone being like, I had my camera on this public and it was stolen. Okay, how can, like getting calls constantly across the state like that, they just end up making it illegal. That way it's not a problem. They don't have to deal with it.
When they could have bought a $10 lock
Yep.
and no one would have stole it.
Yeah.
By the way, just to get back on that Utah thing, it's all trail cameras on public land prohibited. However, trail cameras not using internal data storage or capable of transmitting data is not permitted on private land for purposes of taking protected wildlife.
Huh. Okay, there you go.
Which, I could see it being more for like, I guess that's basically saying like you can run cell cameras on private, but you can't run cell cameras.
Yep.
So I could see that helping you a lot, meaning, if you got a big bull that's constantly hitting a water hole or,
I could
or
see
something, or you got a big bull that's thrashing up in a water hole and, sneaking up around the mountain or something. Like I could see it being like increasing your odds quite a bit.
I don't know. The pressure thing gets me on the public. Like if you have, like Iowa, you say no cameras on public anymore, which definitely cuts down on the pressure of people walking in and putting cameras in. But how much more pressure does that put of people going, well, I'm going to walk around this whole area and find me a good area to hunt. Like as far as boots on the ground, looking for sign and shit like that. Does it add more pressure of people walking around more?
I agree.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a whole year of trial and error up there to see what,
I don't know.
what
There's so many
happens with it.
factors that go either way, like if you had cameras out, yes, I could see where basically they're staying out of there. You're also saying that people are not, they're being more choosy, like, oh, there's a bigger buck in this area, I'm going to pass some smaller deer, but then you also got the negative side of it, of people stealing each other's cameras and different things. And then, like you said, that where they're not able to run cameras, people being in there more scouting, people walking around more.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a give and a take. I feel like you're gonna win some, and you're gonna lose some on both areas.
Yeah, and with the blinds, like you were saying, the problem is that some people were buying how many blinds and just going and setting them up in tons of locations. And you know how hard it is when you see a blind to tell if someone's in it or not, especially bow hunting. Leave the windows open and you can't, or leave the windows open like someone's in it and you can't tell.
Yeah.
And so people are showing up and there's blinds in every field when really no one's hunting it. It's just one guy deterring others.
And you could do the same with tree stands, I guess, but you're talking a lot of work. Imagine putting, how much time and money into just putting like 20 tree stands on
but that
area.
At the end of the day, like, it's public. If someone has a tree stand hung, you can hunt the tree next to it, as long as, obviously, out of respect, no one's in it.
I think some of them states, some of them states, I think you can actually sit other people's stands at a certain. Some of them they go by time. Like if someone's not in there by whatever time, I think you can sit in them. And other states go by.
I wouldn't trust someone else's stand.
No, I wouldn't either. But yeah, other states are, if you walk in and you see someone stand there and no one's in it, I think you can climb in and sit it. I don't know what Missouri's like. I don't know what Iowa's like, but I know there's several states out there that are like that on public.
And then they sue the guy when they fall out and break their neck.
You hunt a lot of public, don't you, Adam?
I would say I mainly hunt public.
Do you ever hang cell cams?
On public, no. I've never done that. But on private, I mean, obviously, yeah, for sure. But
yeah, I hunt a lot of public around here too, and the thoughts never crossed my mind to want to put a cell cam on public.
Honestly, like, it probably would make me feel defeated because I'll probably just catch somebody in blue jeans walking right past it anyway.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah. Like, dang it. Yeah.
Well, then going back to your point too, for public, like, I don't see it really being a big deal anyway because of the amount of pressure. Like, it's almost impossible to pattern a mature buck on public because there's so much pressure in there.
Right. I think a lot of people I know, they say they use them for more of patterning where the human traffic's going.
That's a good point.
Well, yeah, that's a valid point.
Like, I know some people have put them. Well, we seen it. It was at ATA, so Spencer wasn't there. It was just me and Landon. Whenever that dude had that big old pole and he was drilling the cell cams up in the trees. I know people have said that they'll put them on parking lots just to say, okay, well, so and so's here today. This truck's here tomorrow. Oh God, there's 8 trucks here today. So they can pattern, like, and then they'll throw however many in the timber and say, okay, well, that guy's going this way, this guy's going this way. And they like pattern the foot traffic of humans and say, okay, well, the least amount of pressure's over here. And
I can tell you the only reason why I would do something like that is if I knew for a fact there was a stud deer.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
No, yeah, no. And I'm just saying this because there's guys out there that are that, like, hardcore about that shit though. I mean, there's guys out there that put in, like, I know we do, a lot of work on ground and stuff, but there's some people that are like, we think we love the shit, like they're fucking,
which I give it
never
to
married, no kids. That's all they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it to them for going that hard, and obviously, we're fortunate to have private ground, and so, I mean, I would say we hunt and love it just as hard. We just don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we don't. I mean, I'm sure if we had
like
just
Adam,
strictly hunt.
Adam's been pretty successful on public and getting in there. It's just a matter of going in the right time or finding that right place. But I don't know. I can't say that. I guess hanging trail cameras to monitor people is like that great of an idea either. I always tell everyone, even with deer hunting, how many times have we seen a big deer and it walk around in the field or whatever and you never get a picture of it? I mean, truthfully, a trail camera only monitors an area as big as this room.
Well, I mean, take Curls, for instance. How many times did we go over there and watch him?
Yeah.
And how many pictures? Yeah,
well,
how many
that
pictures
deer
did you
there,
get?
the Fine 9 last year, me and Brady were bow hunting and we had him at 80 yards and never got a picture of him. He was close to the camera, but the camera only can monitor
So much.
So much of an area. So even though you're not getting pictures, doesn't mean that he wasn't there.
True. I mean, I had
you don't
4
know
cameras
that, but-
on one food plot.
Right. Like I said,
Oh yeah, you did.
Well, I was just trying to monitor when they come in, when they leave, what
and-
direction they go.
right.
And
Putting
then
a
there's,
pattern together
there's 50 acres behind me of corn.
Yeah.
where we could sit on a hill and look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really feel like obviously intel like that, like personally, you're out there scouting is way better than any trail camera, but it's not feasibly possible.
Every
And
day.
How
Yeah.
many did you have out there?
4.
4 in like the same general area.
Well, I had one facing this way on a T-post, one facing this way, one on the left side of the food plot, and one on the right side.
Yeah. And he would be out there some nights, but he wouldn't be in the food plot. He would be in the field. And
Oh, we'd watch his ass. We'd literally
and he would
fucking watch him in the
And he
field.
would never show up on camera, which
Let me ask you something, because I forgot who said this, but I heard this not too long ago. Have you guys ever noticed, like, does it ever seem like, especially like a mature buck, if they know that the camera's there, and like they'll do something like not out of the ordinary, but like they'll know that it's there?
So
Okay.
this
Have you seen that
specific-
before?
This specific buck that I'm talking about, if I turn my cameras on video mode, will not stick around in front of the camera.
yes.
If it's picture mode, he will stand there and he'll eat around in the food plot. If it's in video, as soon as that video clicks on, he is walking off.
Yeah. And
every
that's cell cam video.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it puts out some kind of
Frequency.
frequency of like recording or whatever it does. I have no clue.
I would
but-
say the deer. I would say just over the years of running like the cameras we've run, I'd say they more notice maybe the scent on them over seeing them.
I would say from my experience, not really. I mean, very few times you'll find a deer, but it's kind of like saying that one of two or two deer are just alike. Like it just doesn't happen. Like
Yeah,
every deer has its own. This deer might travel this path, and that deer might travel the same path, but at some point they break different ways. Like, you can find deer.
Well, they
that
all
you-
have different personalities.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
some of them are just fucking scared, and some of them just kind of.
That's kind of the art of like every year trying to pattern a new deer. Like obviously, it took us how many years to figure out Deuce and the Fine Nine, and we might have a deer that acts similar. That's like, oh, they kind of act like that deer, and it kind of gives us a general idea of how to hunt them. But at the end of the day, they always have their own twist or own.
Yeah,
like, something
I'd
else
say
in
we've
it.
definitely have had deer that have
But
been like.
we've had a few deer that even when Dad's hunting, that he said like, we'll walk down the path and it'll be like just getting dark or like first thing in the morning, and he can't tell exactly how big it is, and he's like, hopefully it walks like it's going right by the camera and it'll stop right behind the tree and then like cut up the hill right behind it and never get a picture.
I was gonna say, we definitely have had deer that are, and again, I don't know if it's them seeing it, sensing it, or that little infrared flash sometimes maybe gets them at like a certain light, but
I've never personally seen a big deer react to a camera and be like, oh, I'm not coming in front of it. I mean, most of the big deer, hell, there's a few of them that you couldn't get away from a camera. Like,
well, we got,
and he'd be in front of every one of
we
them.
got one Reconyx that's an older one that's a white flash, so it takes like a strobe. Like a white, like you just took a picture, like flashes right in your eye. I mean, when you turn it on and you look into it, it blinds you. It's like, whoa, what the hell? And Spencer, we had it up in Velvet last year when Curls was there. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, I don't like the white flash. It scares them. I've never had a deer like,
No, I did some
it just
research
flashes
on it.
and they just kind of stand
I've had
there.
some research on it, and I don't think that it really ever affects them. I think the biggest thing with the flash is, say, like going back to someone trespassing. If someone's sneaking through your place at night and you have a camera that doesn't flash like the rest of our cameras, you walk by, you'll never know it's there.
Right.
You walk by and you see a flash, I mean, it's going to scare the hell out of you, and you're going to figure out, that, hey, there's a camera or whatever. I think that was more of that. I don't know that it really makes that big of a difference, but I've read some stories in different articles that like, oh, this deer was, afraid of cameras or whatever, whether that person went in there and checked it every 2 days and it was just picking up his scent, or that deer just didn't like it. But I don't know that I could tell you that Which, of course, it's hard to study that data because I have some deer that are homebodies and they'll be on camera all the time, and I have some deer that I'll get pictures of, two or three pictures of them
a year.
Is that because that they don't like the cameras and they really live on the farm and they just avoid the cameras? Maybe so, but I don't know that. It could just be that they live somewhere else and they're just passing through and I'm only getting pictures at that certain time. Yeah. But
I'd say to answer your question, yes, I'd say there definitely is deer that do notice them. Whether it's them noticing the camera or noticing the scent on it.
I spray all my cameras down. So like we were using a lot of the
nose jammer.
Scent thief.
Yeah, well, I wasn't using like nose jammer on my cameras because the thing is with that, it has a little bit of scent to it, and no sooner than deer the deer don't know what it is, and that's the whole thing behind nose jammer is like it kind of blocks out, it overpowers your scent, and they don't really they don't know what it is, so they just
it'll
usually
make them skittish.
Yeah, they kind of calm down. They're not really sure. They just kind of go on. Yeah. And the thing is though, with nose jammer, it works really well. But if you spray nose jammer on it, and if a deer gets a wind of it, and I've had different times where we're sitting there, a deer gets wind of it, no problem at all. She calms down, she goes on, worked great. But if the deer gets wind of it, and say you're walking out of the woods, and she gets wind of it and sees you walking and spooks, next time she
didn't want to put them both together.
Yes, next time she comes out in the field and she smells nose jammer blowing to her. Most of the time,
danger.
Yes, yeah. She might not obviously know you're there, but she remembers that. Hey, last time this wasn't, a good smell. Yeah. But the thing is with Scent Thief, which I'm really interested to.
Yeah, I'm excited to use it
because what Scent Thief does is it basically takes all their it immobilizes their nose somehow, or the whatever in their nose to they can't smell at all. Yeah. So instead of it just being almost a cover scent or a blocker.
I mouthed a drug to Brady over there.
A little bit of that nose snow.
A little snow,
Booger sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
No, but it'll do it the Scent Thief. We've played around with it a little bit, but it'll do it to you. If they got the wafers, or if you spray it or whatever, you won't be able to smell.
So basically, when we met these people and their company, and they were basically explaining it to us, whenever they first started producing this, and it's basically just a bunch of essential oils put together.
I feel like we need to read the fine print on this bottle.
No, so what they had to add a scent to it as well, because
they were forced to add a scent to it.
They were forced to add a scent to it because they were shut them down because they were using it against drug dogs and everything else.
It was so powerful, drug dogs could not smell drugs.
Smell it. It was completely messing with their nose. Yeah. So they had basically the
ATF came in and was
nope. Seized everything and was if you guys do anything with this, let anyone know, whatever, we're hauling you out of here. And so they end up having to add an earthly scent or something to it to where they could train
the dogs
to be able to at least
to sell it.
Yeah, to at least
market
be able to
it.
smell that scent.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
Or however whatever they had to put in it to where
yeah, I know we only got 10 minutes left.
So
yeah, I know on the
that
card.
was a good episode though. Honestly, talking about you guys just going back and forth with all the stuff camera. I'm excited. We'll do it again after season. See what we think.
We'll battle this out whenever it's over.
Oh, like I said, I wasn't battling. I was just saying I was just trying to make a point.
Right.
I was just trying to make a point. I'm not saying right or wrong. I don't give a fuck if we use a cell camera or not.
The twin conflict.
I don't give a shit, but
I know about
I'm just saying I was just trying to make
I'll
a
beat
point.
his ass when this ends.
We're gonna turn the camera off.
I'm gonna come across this table with a flying elbow.
Speaking of flying elbows, did you see the? It was on Instagram too. I think I seen it on TikTok. The dude who had the two toads in the little WWE ring, and one toad's up on a ladder and one's on a little chair or on a table, and the toad jumps off the table and it's and so it plays the WWE song, and it lands on top of the other frog, and the table. Yeah, the table just goes bloop. It's so funny, dude. I laughed my ass off when I seen that.
There's a lot of pros and cons to it. Just
Yeah, I
on
was
what
just curious what
what it
you
is.
guys thought about that because the guy who I watched, I'm pretty sure was like a deer biologist type of studies them and stuff, and he said that they definitely know that they're there.
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's, and I think it's a lot of.
I don't have the proof to tell you. I mean, for the big deer some of the big deer that we killed or all the big deer we got on camera, I can't tell you that it's really ran them away. I mean, a few.
I'd say
maybe.
they know it's there. I mean,
I'm not the guy. I don't like hanging my camera. Like some people will hang it, like he was saying, 10 feet in a tree and face it downwards and say, oh, the deer won't be able to see it because it's up in the tree or whatever. Like, I just don't like looking at my pictures from that angle. Like, I want a picture of the deer eye level, where I can get good pictures of.
And like you were saying too, I think there's precautionary measures that you can take to help them not mix it with like a danger sense.
Right.
Yeah. Saying like spraying it down or just like making sure you're not in there all the time to where your scent's mingling by your camera because then they'll come up to it.
Right.
Yes.
And then when you're in there hunting, they're going to be like, I smelled that at the camera. I'm not going that way.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we very strategically check and place. Like, if we that's part of the reason we switched to Reconics because on a set of lithiums, it's expensive, but they'll run a whole year. So, I mean, we'll strategically say, okay, well, we're hunting here and the wind's good. We're going to slip by on our way out and we're going to grab boom, 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 switch the cards out of 2 or 3 cameras. Wind's still good. Even if we did put scent on the camera, well, the wind's not blowing, obviously until it washes off, which I know deer smell really well, but like we're pretty strategic with when we're pulling cards and shit.
And I also feel like that's what plays a big factor in. I have and you probably won't know this because I've probably not told you, but I have a hard drive and I will literally save pictures, not from every deer I get, but like say I have a deer that's 2 years old that I can recognize and say that deer I think is going to be big. Well, I start saving pictures of them, especially my 3 and 4 year olds 100%. And then that way I can look back and say, but if I'm able to save them at a 2 or 3 year old, obviously by the time they're 5 or 6 and we're targeting them, I can look back at 3 years of history and say, okay, what'd that deer do the last 3 years, and that also helps me go without going in to check my cameras. Cause there's cameras that we'll place during a year's time and just be like, well, we think this area could be good. We're not really sure about it. And I'll hang a camera in sometime in mid-August and I won't pick it up until shed season. Yeah. Never check it all year. But whenever I go check it, I'm going through the pictures. I can say, well, damn, that deer was in here at this time. And then I can decide next year if I'm like, yeah, we should probably hunt that area,
Smart,
but I also have my cameras that I run pretty frequently, and I try to place them to like Brady was saying, like if we're going to a stand, I know I can slip in there, pull that card and be just fine. But I also I check my cameras about once a month. That's out of hunting season. During hunting season, I might pull them a little more, just depending. But a lot of the pictures that I go off of is not from necessarily this year's pictures.
It's a lot of last year's.
It's a lot of like the previous years, especially like the deer that Brady killed. We knew that like he was down in this area all the time during like the early season. And so, I mean, without even pulling the card, we just knew like if you could slip down at this time or like with a good wind.
The previous year.
Yes. Well, I in the video when I killed it, I even told Spencer like on film, I was like, the wind is fucking terrible for where we're going. Literally, we're going to blow every single deer out besides one deer. And we seen one deer. And that's the deer we needed to kill.
Yeah, they killed it. Which, I mean, I don't know. You might not know, but most of us know, or we probably said on the podcast, like the deer that he did kill, for whatever reason, the first year that we had pictures of him, he switched hillsides on us like mid or early October. And we were like, what the hell? Like I stopped getting pictures of him over here and I got pictures of him over here. And then it was like, he moved his core area. So then the next year.
How old was he when he did that?
4.
Well, he was 3. And then the next year.
He did the same exact
He did
shit.
the same thing, but he busted up. And we could have killed him.
Yeah, we passed him.
And we passed him because he was all busted up. And then so we kind of knew like, okay, he did the same thing 2 years in a row. So we were kind of ready for like, and not saying that he could have just completely changed it up and not done that. But typically,
they're
like,
creatures of habit.
A lot of deer
a lot of times do the same shit.
Yeah, if something works for them, then 100% like that's kind of rely to do. And so they obviously
Yeah, I
went in
knew.
there.
I mean, me and Spencer talked about it literally when we were going to hunt there. I was like, I told him like the wind's terrible, whatever. We're going in after one deer, and I said we're gonna have like an 80 or 90% chance of killing it.
But not every deer is 100% like that. I mean, a lot of deer are creatures of habit where like you'll find out, okay, he showed up. Say, I've even seen where they've showed up for like a week time out of the year, and that's it.
Yeah.
But like next year, they show up within like a few days of that exact time that they did last year, and then they're gone again. But it kind of gives you an idea.
In season, it's like,
yes.
this happened
Yes.
years in a row.
I need to
this
hunt.
time period.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
in there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to show you because we got the SD card upstairs, and Spencer's got one at his house now. It's amazing how well you can pattern them, and like you said, even if it's like a 3 or 4 day time period, and you have yet to get any cell cam pictures of it or any trail cam pictures of the deer, you can look back on last year's and say, okay, we need to be probably sitting in this area or this stand for the next 3 days, and I can almost guarantee you're probably
That's like I killed that deer this year. Mm-hmm. I got on after he killed Deuce, I got on basically the computer during the rut and was like, okay, where are my pictures of him daylight last year running scrapes? Like, what area was he running scrapes in? Where was he at in daylight? Because I have a lot of pictures of him in dark and stuff, but where was he focusing his time in daylight?
2 minutes.
Kind of looked through the the card or whatever, and was like, yeah, we should probably hunt here. And obviously we went there in first morning and shot him. Not that does that happen all the time, but it
Definitely increases the odds.
It plays
Yes.
a big factor, in
It's such a small and easy step, but it takes time to do, and it's something that 99% of people don't do because it's the extra couple hours of going through the SD cards, filing each picture away to where it needs to go.
I've sat there for hours at night before I'd go to bed. Like, I'd make, say, 2 hours every night. Well, you don't have to do that, but that's what I would do because on some of our cameras, I'll have 20 to 30,000 pictures on a card. And I'll literally sit there and like till my eyeballs go dry, just clicking and moving basically pictures over. And then I look back through where was that deer? And then we kind of start setting up things for that deer. And so I would say but I've also had deer where like, a deer super consistent, like he's here all the time. This is what he does and whatever. And then I've also had deer that's like good luck pattern. And, you go look in the folder of that deer that I have named and you go through his pictures and you're like, all right,
you're not putting nothing together.
It's a whirlwind up in the air. Like there's just some deer that are like that. But a lot of the times it really increases your odds a lot. And so that's why this year I'm really interested to see what we could do because I have a lot of every deer that we had last year that survived, or most of those sheds that we found this year, every one of those deer I have at least 2 years of history with already.
That'd be good then.
So I'll be able to tell you a lot of what they do.
So
I think
we'll end it on that with a heated episode today. Everyone's just angry.
Yeah.
Fucking mad as shit. Probably with the election coming up. But no, our SD card's got about a minute and a half left on it, so we had one little final go at it there. But if anyone has any closing thoughts, any roundtable closing thoughts,
got a lot of work ahead of us. That's all I gotta say.
We got a lot of work to do.
I agree. A lot of stuff coming up. We're about to start getting about that. Well, it's going on mid-June now, so about July hits and shit starts really getting real pretty fast. So
keep praying for rain.
Yep, but otherwise, Jeff, thanks for coming on again.
Yep.
Adam, good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry you guys had to watch your first fight between me and Brady.
So, alrighty, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. We're running up on about 20 seconds left on our card, so wrap your tag around the main beam. Thank you all. Peace.
Get your ass over here.